turn Wi-Fi off on my phone first, or leave?
What?
Should I turn the Wi-Fi off on my phone?
Swing and a miss. Struck him out. The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of baseball. And the Sixers win it. Wow! Oh man, Embiid just posterized Russell Westbrook. You love the Philadelphia Eagles. Let me get a hell yeah!
Hell no! What is up, everybody? Welcome to Party on Broad. It is Dives, Mr. Crockpot on Twitter. This is the post-game show. Joining me today is my man Rob, our co-host. He is at Philly_Madness on Twitter. What up, Rob?
Oh, yeah. I'm just living the dream, man. What a change in a matter of a couple of hours from where we are. And I think the TPL audience today is going to get a good view of who I truly am. I've never really done a podcast immediately following an Eagles game. So this could get interesting. I warn you now, this could get interesting.
The Eagles just lost the game 27-17. An absolutely fucking pathetic performance by the Philadelphia Eagles. Carson Wentz, Howie Roseman, the offensive line, the injuries are amounting. Where do we begin, Rob? I think first we got to start off with Carson Wentz because this today started out to be an amazing day. I'm watching my first regular season game with my 1-year-old daughter. We're taking photos. I've got smoked meats on my smoker. I've got pork, Korean barbecue pork, smoked mac and cheese, 17-0. Everything is gravy, baby. And then after that interception towards Jalen Reagor at the end of the first half, the Eagles put their foot off the pedal. Doug Peterson stopped going towards Zach Ertz and Dallas Goedert, and the offense became predictable. Carson Wentz lobs an out route to Jalen Reagor. Carson Wentz missed throw after throw after throw. This was a terrible game. What was it, like 27 unanswered points?
Yeah.
You got to lead off with Carson. What happened, man?
It's almost like that one throw changed his entire mentality. He had swagger. He was throwing the ball well. That touchdown pass to Dallas Goedert is right in his hands. The bomb early in the game. Yeah, the bomb early in the game, the Reagor is right in his hands. It was almost like he threw that pick and he almost Carson has always had this temptation to, once he makes one mistake, try and press to make sure he makes a great play to make up for it. And it just went south so quickly today. This is really disappointing. I went into the game and I kind of said to myself, look, you don't lose a season in week one. I understand that. But when you go up 17-0 on a lowly team, and don't let this fool you, Washington is not good. You cannot, if you consider yourselves a playoff team, blow that lead and just totally be decimated the rest of the game. And look, we're going to talk about all the different things. My blame goes on two guys today. All right? For all those people that say, yeah, for all those people that say I can't ever give Carson Wentz, negative reviews. Carson was atrocious, maybe the worst I've ever seen him. And Doug Peterson just got friggin' stupid again. Listen, this is what I was saying on Tuesday. Everyone wants to give Doug all this praise. He is the worst when it comes to adjusting when he needs to. He's the absolute worst. And I don't know what the hell he was thinking in some of these situations. He goes for it on fourth down early in the third quarter with Jordan Mailata as the right. Why? They haven't moved the ball long distance all game. Just punt them and make them go 80 yards. It just boggles my mind. And you know what? They deserve this loss. They 100% deserve this loss today.
All right, let's go to the comment section. It is flowing. Hey, it's Wild Wild West, the Joe Show Philly Sports Dog. I changed my YouTube name. Our guy Greg Ward did not get the MVP today, unfortunately. Although he had a few catches, I thought he was really strong. But I think the Eagles come back. Greg Ward will be the player. Wentz is trash. yes, the O-line didn't help. We're going to talk about that next coming up. But he can't be playing like that. Man, I've never been so frustrated listening to a game. I mean, you touched on that, Rob. We touched on this before the game. Dan Murphy, thanks for joining, man. I'm not okay. I'm not okay because that had to be the worst performance by Carson Wentz. Yes, that Seattle game last year was absolutely brutal. Turnover after turnover or turnover. It's like death, taxes, and Philly sports giving up big fucking leads. And I'm just so sick and tired of just the Sixers. You name it. The Eagles. It is unbelievable. Michael Small, the Killing Me Smalls podcast. Thanks for joining me. It's Jalen time. Like clockwork.
They didn't even dress that son of a bitch. He's so not ready that he couldn't even be active for the game.
Thank you, Howie. Second round pick down the drain. My goodness. Man, that second half offense was absolutely sick. Zach Ertz didn't touch the ball. Zach Ertz and Dallas Goedert did not touch the ball until like late in the beginning of the fourth quarter in the middle field. They did not utilize the middle of the field or the outside. Well, Carson Wentz couldn't. He had no touch whatsoever after that interception at the end of the first half.
And I think that's a twofold problem. I think, first of all, as I said, he threw that one pick and I think started the press. But let's be real. At about midway through the second quarter, the offensive line seemed to remember that they suck because all of a sudden come on. What did they have? 8 or 9 sacks in this game?
8.
I mean,
eight
like,
sacks.
And look, maybe 1 or 2 was Carson's fault holding the ball. The other 6, he didn't have a second to breathe.
I will disagree with you there, dude. I love you. But I think Carson Wentz held on to the ball way too long again and again and again this game, man. That's on Carson.
Well, but there were quite a few where it was like guys were just, Jack Driscoll, the one time he didn't go with the blitzer when he should. The next time he goes with the blitzer when he shouldn't. Like there was just too many mistakes from that JV offense. And guess what? That's where I go all the way up to Howie, because in that second round, maybe you draft a backup offensive lineman if you're going to draft a reserve rather than a backup quarterback, you jackass. I mean, this is so maddening to start out the way you did. Did they not learn from Miami last year when they take the foot off the gas, bad shit happens?
Wow.
Did they not learn that?
That's why it was. Know what this felt like? I tweeted about this. This felt like watching the 2011 the new Miracle in the Meadowlands when the Eagles came rearing back versus the New York Giants, and D-Jax had that return punt, and they came back like 24 unanswered points. That was this game. But we're Giants. We were the Giants, and this is one of the worst losses I've seen from the Eagles. My man Coyle says the O-line was terrible. Wentz was terrible. Hell yeah, bro. We're gonna talk about the O-line. Blake Green, thank you so much for joining. He says, is Philly even going to win 5 games this year? This is a hard – this was – all right, so I called this game. I said from the beginning during our Tuesday night preview show to our pregame show, this was not an easy win by any means. We had people on here saying the Eagles were winning by 2 touchdowns. I did not see that happening with the way the Eagles – maybe I'm just too old and I've seen way too many Eagles games. I don't know. Everyone's like, Dwayne Haskins. There's no way Dwayne Haskins is going to beat the Eagles. I don't want to hurt. I don't want to insult anybody here, but my goodness, man. Like, I've seen this, like, what was that name? Like, Joe Johnson from the Minnesota Vikings. Like, random quarterbacks beat the Eagles all the fucking time. I'm just –
And listen, Dwayne Haskins is not a random quarterback. I understand he's young and he's not great, but Dwayne Haskins was a bona fide – great college quarterback. So let's listen, I said this on the show on Tuesday night with you guys. We have to, as fans, stop drinking the Kool-Aid and just think everything's fine because Howie and Doug tells us it's fine. I am pissed off at Carson Wentz, but I'm even more pissed at Doug because Doug Peterson it's like he went away from everything that was working. And then when you're up 17-0, he just didn't even try and run the football. He didn't even try, and I understand it wasn't there, but he didn't even try. 15 rushes in the whole friggin' game? I mean, come on, Doug. And honestly, nothing pissed me off more than in the third quarter going for it on 4th down. There was zero reason to do that there. 0. And then your running back doesn't pick up the blitzer who comes darting in instantly, and there's nothing you can do. I mean, come on. It's just
it's maddening, man. The Eagles had the Washington football team dead to rights. The Washington football team had more penalty yards than offense in the first half. They were dead to rights, and they took their foot off the pedal. Oh, woosah, man. Woosah. Coyle says, trade Ertz for needs. I think you have to. No, man. If there's any positive in this game, is that the Ertz-Goddard combination is absolutely fantastic. That's on Doug. That's on Carson for going away from it.
Except for the last 4th down where Ertz just dropped the ball dead in his hand.
Was that not, like, ironic? Like, the Eagles' offense was beautiful in that first half. It was beautiful. You attacked the middle of the field. You had 2 tight end sets. The Washington football team had no answers for Ertz or Goddard that entire first half. And you had a Jalen Reagor beating Ronald Darby for 55 yards. It was gorgeous. And then it just completely fell to shit. Funky Monkey says, thank you so much for joining, Funky Monkey. Awesome name, by the way. Should have benched him. Oh, God.
Well, and this is right. Look, we're all frustrated. I'm pissed at Carson Wentz, but the should have benched him. You're going to see Jalen Hurts start soon this year. All guys, chill the hell out. Seriously, like, it was not good. He was terrible. But this whole bench him thing that's got to go away now. That's got to go away right now.
Wild West. I'm always going to call you Wild West, by the way. Do you guys think Ertz getting heated with Howie had anything to do with him not playing well either? I thought Ertz was playing fine. He just wasn't targeted. I don't know. I got to look at the box score of how many times Ertz was targeted other than that drop. I mean,
my guess is Del Rio was trying to take Ertz away. My guess is he thought, that's Carson's safety blanket. I mean, I don't see the game that close, so I don't know, but that's my assumption because Goddard seemed to be the open tight end at most points in this game. And listen, Goddard had he had a solid game. I don't understand if the play calls were going away from that or if Carson was going away from that. I don't know. But really, it's just the offense went it was last year. The offense just all of a sudden stopped, and you could blame it on the quarterback. But guess what? If Doug wants to make the play calls, you have to put blame on this guy. And I'm you gotta call him out, and I'm calling him out today.
Absolutely. And I also put that blame not on Ertz, but on Carson, because that dude was staring down receivers again and again and again. Let's keep it rolling. Blake Green, so you gave up 27 unanswered points to not a good team. What does that make y'all? Well, it makes you a pretty bad football team.
It makes you who you are. And in my opinion, and I've said this for a week, I got blasted on the Madness by Jess for saying this. They're an average football team. They are an average football team. Now, when you go up 17-0 and give that up, that tells me you're feeling yourselves too much, that you think that you could just coast after getting that lead. And that is a coaching thing, right? Listen, all I heard Philly fans tell me was Brett Brown was the reason that the mentality was that what it was for the Sixers. Well, guess what, guys? Then this is on Doug Peterson, and that mentality was just chill out. We're all good. That's on Doug.
Blake Gruen says Zach Ertz touched the ball when he dropped it on 4th down. That was one of the most disheartening third quarters. Like, how do I say this? I suddenly remember why I hate watching football. It went from the highest of the highs. I was good, 17-7. The Eagles defense looked fantastic. They put their foot off the pedal. Coming off no preseason, what I saw from Carson, what I saw from the secondary, I was fine, a 17-7. And that third quarter came when they completely went off script from what worked in that, especially that first quarter. And Zach Ertz and Dallas Goedert can be nowhere to be seen at all in the offense. That was one of the most maddening third quarters I have ever seen.
I don't even know what to say. I mean, I am so frustrated at this point, and I really am upset. What's that? Oh, there you are. You're back. You froze for a minute. But like I said, I went into this game and I kept telling myself, just don't have any, perception. Just kind of watch it. But then they go up 17-0. That changes everything. That changes everything. And for this outcome, for it to be that bad and look that one-sided after that, tells me that my early fears about this team could very well be right.
And that's where this comment comes in big time. I can't stress this comment enough. Wild West, sorry, I'm going to keep calling you that. They should have ran the ball more. No one should have expected the Eagles to have more than 100 yards on the ground in this game. But that's where this reared its ugly head, was when the Eagles had a comfortable lead and could not at all control the line of scrimmage. The offensive line was absolutely brutal. I called it from Tuesday night during our preview show. Do not let Doug off the hook by Dylan, DA. I'm not going to even say all those numbers. Thank you so much for joining, Dylan. He says 17-0 lead and ended the game with 15 rushes. There it is. Absolutely nailed it. Yeah. They could not control the tempo of this game at all. That D-line from the Washington football team completely decimated the Philadelphia Eagles in that second half. Just want to jump in and say, good game. We came in, and thanks to our defense, we made plays on the offense. You guys played a great game. How do I say this? Like, the first half, the Eagles looked great, but there was definitely moments by Washington that they let the Eagles off the hook, whether it was dumb penalties on third downs, dropped. I think there was like almost a turnover that didn't happen. There were definitely instances where the Eagles, even though they were up 17-0, it wasn't necessarily indicative, I think. It just, in my opinion, on the field. But any take on that, dude?
Yeah, I mean, like, I thought the defense was legit early. I thought they were all flying around. I thought the corners looked good. They really were not giving much room. I was upset that it took forever for them to get a sack on Dwayne Haskins. The defensive line was applying some pressure, but, they still – it's the same thing that we always say, right? Like, they got to get home. They have to get home. And, look, they got put in a bad position, the defense, right? 2 really short fields off of 2 really bad turnovers. And, honestly, that's different in the game. I mean, really, I know it ends up 27-17, but take those 2 turnovers away. I think we're talking about an ugly second half, but an Eagles victory.
Other than that the strip sack by Josh Sweat, I think it was in like the second quarter or so. I don't really know. This is a reaction pod. We'll have to look at it. Maybe it was the third quarter. But it was like basically nothing. They did not get home. They finally got some pressure, I think, like towards that like beginning of the third, and then it just was non-existent. I just don't know how long Ertz is with Philly with his argument. I mean, you're absolutely right. That is a major storyline moving forward.
I will say this, Chris. If Goddard continues to produce like he did today, don't be surprised if as we get closer to the deadline this year, if there's a glaring hole and there's somebody that you're going to start hearing those rumors. I don't know if it'll happen. I'm just saying don't be surprised if you don't start hearing because Goddard's performance today makes the front office go because this is who they are. I've decided I'm no longer referring to Howie Roseman by his name. I'm calling him Howie Banner because that's who he's become. He's Joe Banner 2.0. He's so friggin' cocky with his nonsense. But they're going to start. Man. They're going to start looking.
That second round pick baffle is really looking bad, especially when you have all these injuries. No, we'll talk about injuries later. Coyle says, "Can we bring back Chip Kelly's medical staff and smoothies?" I mean, it can't get worse.
Holy,
it really can't get worse. I don't even know.
Another guy was limping off the field.
I mean, all right. So, all right, let's go to the offensive line because it was absolutely horrendous. I actually thought to start the game, the Eagles looked good. They were attacking the intermediate game. Ertz, Goddard were getting involved. Jackson was involved. Rager was involved. And then it just became same old Doug and just nothing creative. That was like the theme of this offseason, where we're going to start implementing some kind of creative offense with, whether it was a wildcat or something. And then we see, of course, 30 minutes before the game starts, Jalen Hurts is fucking inactive.
Yeah.
So what does that mean? But the offense in the second half was absolutely downright terrible, and that was led by a horrendous performance by the offensive line. We all saw this coming. That was the number one strength for the Washington football team. It was an absolute number. 8 sacks. Jack Driscoll went out. I don't even know where to begin. Like Jason Peters, I didn't really necessarily hear. I have not watched the tape. I'm going to rewatch the tape. So when we come back on Tuesday night, we'll probably have some quick takeaways once we rewatch everything that went down. But man, Carson Wentz didn't give the offensive line any favors either. I'm sorry. I have to call it as it is. And he held the ball on way too long, way too many times. Carson Wentz has to get out of the pocket. He has to get rid of the ball. He has to make better decisions with the ball. You can't stop fumbling the ball, man. It was just a outright between the offensive line and Carson Wentz, straight up shit show. What was your take on the offensive line?
It was atrocious. I mean, Peters was okay, but he made quite a few mistakes. Tom Brady's running in touchdowns now. That's fun. But the right side of the line was just an absolute joke. Driscoll for the first drive had a great drive and then didn't play well. But then it's like he goes out and now it's Mailata who, once again, there's us outsmarting everybody, right? Let's draft the friggin' rugby players never played football. He'll be good for us, you friggin' morons. And by the way, let's go for it on 4th down with him in the game because that's real friggin' smart. Look, it was an absolute abomination of football. And once again, here I'm going to go right back to Doug. How many times do you have to watch Carson Wentz throw the ball when you roll the pocket to understand that he is a much better thrower when that happens? And not only that, that helps a young offensive line who is struggling. Move the friggin' pocket. Don't make him be a standstill thrower. This is bullshit, man. Like, it's 3 years now. I've been yelling this at Doug Peterson.
Let's talk about stars of the game. Obviously, it goes straight to the Washington football team's defensive line. Absolute stars of the game. If there's any pros on this team, don't flame me. Please don't make fun of me. But I got to give my guy props, Matt Ioannidis from the Temple University. Crushed it today. 1.5 sacks today. Good job, Matt Ioannidis. But, man, you look at Montez Sweat. You look at Chase Young. You look at who am I missing? Ryan Kerrigan. 4.5 sacks combined. 4.5 sacks. And they had 8. They had half the sacks of the Washington football team. That's how bad it was. This is like I had nightmares of watching, what was his name? Justice Winslow getting his ass beat by the New York Giants. Like, that was this bad.
Yeah, this literally was one of the worst offensive line games I've ever seen. It was literally it's just horrendous all around. And I think that my assumption is that's where, Wentz gets happy feet, man. He don't, whatever it is, and he starts holding the ball, and it's just a joke all the way around. Yes, I agree with this. LA Rams 23. You're right. Another awful record for a Philadelphia team to hold.
Oh my God, that is the best comment. Fun fact, Eagles are the first team to ever lose to a team without a name in NFL history. I bet that my man here, thank you for joining, by the way, was waiting to bring that up. But where's that guy during that our Tuesday night preview show that was talking about the Redskins? Sorry, Jesus, I'm going to say it like 1,000 times. Washington's football defense. Because I thought they turned it up, man. I think there's a lot more blame on the Eagles side for their being inept on offense. But man, all right.
I just don't understand why they did not continue to attack the middle of the field with all of their weapons. The middle was wide open from the jump, and even later in the game when they would go to it randomly, guess what? The middle was still wide open, which tells me you should have just kept doing it. Why did you stop? Why did you stop?
Dud of the game. I'm really torn between Carson Wentz and Doug Peterson. The playbook is out there to beat Washington. I don't know which one I'm going to lean towards. I think there's 1A and 1B. These two are definitely deserving of the blame. You said Hal Roseman. I think that might be 1C. But man, they're. Oh, did I lose you? Can you hear me?
No, I got you. I still got
Am
you.
I back?
Yep.
All right, I'm back. All right. Their inability to use what was right is exactly what just gives me nightmares as an Eagles fan over and over again, especially these last 2 years since the 2017 season. Dud of the game. Is it Carson Wentz or is it Doug Peterson?
Look, I know this is like the safe answer. I don't think you can. I think they both were. I think they literally both were. And everyone's going to say, oh, players play, so I'm going to blame Carson. But Doug Peterson has not changed anything. And his shit doesn't work the way it is right now. So, I mean, you can't not blame him as well. I blame both guys equally. Both guys need to get their asses back home, need to check the friggin' film, and realize that Aaron Donald and the Rams are coming in next week, and they'll probably be pissed off because guess what? Watch the Dallas Cowboys tonight. Just watch them. Because I'm going to tell you, right, all that bullshit we've heard about, oh, the Eagles had all their coaches back. It's all continuity. It doesn't matter if your fucking plan sucks. And it does.
I am Rams 23 says, I'm a Rams fan. Good luck with Aaron Donald. Oh, my God. Like, our entire offensive line is completely in shambles. I don't know where Jack Driscoll is. We'll see where that's at. It's not a good situation. Jack Driscoll played well while I was in. That's a positive. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you can call the offensive line a positive today. There's no way I'm, going into NovaCare on Monday and raving about the offensive line. There's no way. That is inexcusable. But overall, I thought Jack Driscoll wasn't exactly the problem. We're going to watch the tape. We'll touch on that Tuesday.
See, I will.
We got to see.
I'll just say, I thought, I'm losing you. I got no volume coming from you.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. Your mouth was still moving, but nothing was coming out, so I didn't know what was happening.
It happened a lot this game.
Yeah, I will just say that Jack Driscoll had a nice first drive, but I watched 3 times where him literally just choose the total wrong guy to block, and it led to a sack or a rush throw or something like that. So I'm not ready to crown Jack Driscoll as having a good game at this moment.
All right, let's wrap this up. Is there any positives from this game, Rob?
I thought the corners played well. I think about. I mean, the 2 touchdown drives were the first 2 touchdown drives were on the short field. The last one, it was technically a short field, but, they gave up a couple third downs on that drive, I guess. But really, I thought Darius Slay and Avonte Maddox, I thought played very well. But I'm not looking at anything as a positive right now. And I know that our Joe show down there keeps saying Jalen Reagor. Listen, yeah, we had the one bomb. He blew by the guy before the end of the first half, and Wentz missed him. But once again, when the offense is shut out in the second half, I'm not giving anybody on the offense a positive. I'm just not going to do it.
It's hard to give out positives in a terrible loss to a division rival that you had no right losing to. Yeah. I thought the defensive line looked pretty solid. Malik Jackson on 3rd and shorts. That could be a weapon moving forward. I thought the secondary looked great, even though Terry McLaurin got most of his yards in that second half. I thought Slay was all over him. When's the last time you had a cornerback that can literally shadow a team's best receiver? Yeah. It's been a long time. A long time. I thought the defensive line played well. I mean, that's it. Like I said, I called this game 24-20 during the Tuesday night preview show because I was terrified of the Eagles offensive line. And then during our pregame show, we got news that Lane Johnson's out. And I don't know what the numbers are, but when Lane Johnson doesn't play, Carson Wentz plays like shit. Like that is like a contingency. That is straight up facts. That like I don't know what the record is, but I guarantee you, if somebody can look that up, and then when you look at no Miles Sanders, when you look at the offensive line, when you look at Doug Peterson's tendency to abandon the run, when you look at Carson Wentz when he throws like more than 50 or more passes, The Eagles always lose. He didn't throw. I think he only threw 42 passes today. But that is all the ingredients to an Eagles loss. So I was straight up terrified. I moved my prediction to 24-23. So I was like by far the most pessimistic in this game for the Eagles to come out with a victory. But not like this. Not like this. You don't lose to a division rival like this. That's not it, man.
No. Listen. This is what I have been trying to say to people, and I've been getting ripped for it because God forbid you're an Eagles fan and you talk negative about them. But this team is not built to be a true contender. They're just not.
Right.
They're just not. And if that's the Carson Wentz you're going to get, well, then you're below. You are a below average football team. I mean, he's got to be 1,000 times better than what he showed us today. And look. You know, you better pray to God that Miles Sanders and Lane Johnson are back in that lineup next week. Because if they are not, oh, these garbage fans, you know what? You all run your mouth if your team wins one game, dude. You are the biggest types of cockroaches there are. Like, your team may not win another game this season. They stink. They freaking stink. They may not win another damn game. So at the end of 16 weeks, if the Washington friggin' football team has more wins than the Eagles, you could come back and talk to us. Until then, go back in your goddamn hole and shut your mouth. Thank you.
Man, this is welcome to football season, baby. The Eagles record will be 6-10 after watching this game.
I want to go back to binge watching Netflix. That's what I want to do. I don't want to watch it anymore.
Stop watching the Eagles. Go watch Cobra Kai. That show is so fucking good.
That show is great. Nostalgia, baby. Nostalgia.
All right. Yeah, I can't think of any other positives. I mean, this is as bad as it gets. You know, the Eagles, this is COVID, so 1 week at a time. Doug has always been known to kind of rally the troops and go ahead. But the recipe to winning in football is not rocket science. It's winning in the trenches. When you have a team where Josh Sweat is getting major snaps, when you have a team when Jack Driscoll and the entire offensive line is completely decimated, like you said, Rob, the proof is in the pudding. Anything you want to plug, dude?
The Madness will be this week. And, you know, Jess revoked my fan card on Thursday because when we did our Super Bowl predictions, I think everybody by now has heard that I have picked the Dallas Cowboys to win the Super Bowl because I just think they're the best team in the NFC, and I think it's so hard to repeat, although watching the Chiefs, they're really damn good. So tune in Thursday night, 8 o'clock. Jess will continue to yell at me and tell me I'm stupid and I don't use logic, although I seemed very logical today with my fear about this. No, I don't even want to watch them. They choked in Game 7. Screw this town. I'm moving somewhere. You know what? I'm going to have to be a fair weather fan at some point, I think. I'm tired of this shit, man.
I don't know, man. Nolan Patrick, Joel Farabee, Cam York, Carter Hart.
Show up in Game 7. Show the hell up. That's all I got to say.
All right. Yeah. Make sure you check out thepainted.com. Check us out here at Party on Broad. Hit that like and subscribe button below. Make sure you follow my man Rob on Twitter at Philly_Madness. Check out the Madness podcast every Thursday night, right? Thursday at 8?
Thursday night.
Thursday at 8. Going to be a ton of fun. I can't wait to see Jess's reaction to this one. This is going to be fun.
Oh, my God.
Thank you guys so much for watching. For Rob, for myself, go Birds. See you next time.
See you guys.